Mike Johnson managed to overcome his first big test as Speaker Tuesday. He got the House to pass a bill to avert a government shutdown. That bill still needs to clear the Senate, and it still needs President Biden's signature, but it appears poised to achieve both those things, and as a result, it seems very likely that we are not going to have a shutdown on Friday, which we had been slated to have if Congress failed to act on this. This had been the big problem that Johnson inherited when he ascended to the speakership last month, and it's ultimately the issue that led to the downfall of his predecessor, Kevin McCarthy. Like McCarthy, Johnson had brought forward what is known as a clean CR, a temporary spending patch to keep the government's lights on that didn't have any major strings attached, any major spending cuts attached that would have alienated Democrats. And that's because, like McCarthy, Johnson needed to get Democrats on board with this measure in order to get this thing through the House. It should be pointed out that when McCarthy had brought forward his clean CR at the end of September, Johnson was one of the 90 Republicans that voted against that bill this time. But now that he's in the speakership, he wanted to get the clean CR through because it seemed like that was the only option he had to prevent a shutdown, and he was very keen on preventing a shutdown. Unlike McCarthy, it seems that Johnson isn't in any serious danger of losing his speakership, at least for now, and that's because some of the hardliners, people like Matt Gaetz, who moved to oust McCarthy last month, have basically come out publicly and said that they're willing to give him some grace, some leeway on this, because in their minds, Johnson was kind of thrust into this situation. He really inherited it, and he didn't have a lot of time to prevent this outcome. But I'd say the real test still remains, because this CR measure really is just punting this government funding issue until next year. So that's where the real intense, hard negotiations are going to come into play, and that is going to be a real test for Mike Johnson.